Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Jarrett, and this is a new week that we are starting. So this week, our weekly concept is animal features. And our essential question is, how do animals' bodies help them? So a feature is a characteristic or something that is interesting or special about an animal or a human, or it could even be a thing. Okay, so for example, we see here this is a giraffe, right? And a giraffe's feature, the most important feature for a giraffe, is its long neck. See, the neck goes from here all the way up here. It's so long. So that is an important feature for a giraffe because it helps the giraffe eat leaves from the tall trees. Okay? So let's go to the next page. Creature features. So that's what we're working on this week. We're going to learn all about the different types of creatures and the features that they have. Okay? And creature is another word for animal. Okay. You could also have bugs that are creatures. Basically anything that's living and moving can be a creature. Okay? Talk about it. What part of the body is helping these giraffes? So this is what we just talked about, right? We said the neck, the long neck, is a feature of the giraffes that's helping them eat the leaves on these trees, right? So our neck is only this long. It's really short. But the giraffe's neck, look, is almost as tall as half the tree. So imagine if you went and stood next to a tree and your neck was as tall as the tree. Wow. Okay, so let's go to our next page. Okay, now we're going to be learning some new words this morning. Yay! So let's get our word box out and start learning. Our first word is about. So about is spelled A-B-O-U-T, about. And the sentence here is, did you see this book about bats? Okay, so the little boy is reading a book and it is about bats. And so the word about oops. So about is a word that describes what something is saying or what the subject is. Okay? So if you can say, did you see this book about bats? That means the subject of this book is bats, right? So if you say, did you see this book about spiders? Then the book will be about spiders, okay? So let's write a new sentence. You see this book about spiders. Okay, so that means the book, the subject of the book is spiders. Okay, good. Now let's go to our next word, and that is animal. So animal, A-N-I-M-A-L, animal. This animal has a trunk. So we can see the trunk right here. And trunk is like a really long nose. See how our nose is so small? So the elephant, which is the animal's name, has a very long nose. So it can use their nose to drink water, and they drink water, or they can pick stuff up and then eat it. Because see how tall the elephants are? They can't get their mouth close to the ground, right? Because they're so tall. And so instead of the giraffes, which reach up really high to grab their food, the elephants have a trunk which can grab low, or it can grab high, okay? So, animal, a word to describe a living thing, okay? So an animal is a living thing. Now, most animals are things like elephants and dogs. There are some other types of creatures called bugs, and we'll learn about those next. So let's make a sentence here. The planet Earth has many, many animals on it. Right? So planet Earth, which is where you and I live, this big round floating ball, has many animals on it. Okay? So that means there's many living things on planet Earth. Now let's go to the next page, or next word. The next word is carry. C-A-R-R-Y. It's easy to carry a little pet. So remember, we talked about pets being animals that you keep at your house, right? So carry means to lift. Carry means to lift or hold. Okay? So carry means to lift or hold. So we can see this person is carrying the little chicken, the chick. Okay? So let's say our sentence now. It would be very hard to carry a giraffe, right? So it would be very hard to carry a giraffe, right? Because the giraffe is so big, it's so big. You'd have to lift the giraffe up, and they're too heavy. This little chick maybe is very light, maybe only one pound or half of a kilogram. Giraffes could be hundreds of kilograms, maybe more. So that means we can't carry them. All right, let's go and make another word box on this side and keep looking at our new words. Okay, so our next word is 8. So 8 is a number. It comes after 7 and before 9, right? So if we count, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See? 8. And this is 7, 8, and then this is 9. Okay? So 8, E-I-G-H-T, 8. A spider has 8 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So let's think of a sentence we can make. I have an idea. If you are 6 years old now, you will be 8 years old in 2 years, right? So if you are 6 years old now, you will be 8 years old in 2 years, okay? Or we can actually say after. So after 2 years go by, you will be 8 years old. Okay, now let's do our last word on this page. The word is give. So give means to have something or take something and award it to something else or to someone else. It means that you present it to that person or thing. Okay? So give means to present something to a person or thing or animal. Okay? So we can say, I will give my friend a birthday present. So give means to present something to a person or thing or animal. So you can say, I will give my friend a birthday present, right? It's like we were talking about last week. You give someone money, and then they give you a good, some goods or items or things, right? Yeah. You can also give people money, and they will do a service for you. Okay? So that's what give means. Now let's go to the next page. Okay, on the next page we have more words. So I will erase these words and we can start again. Okay, so our next word is hour. O-U-R. Our parrots like to talk. So our means yours and mine. Okay, so if we say, so when we say our parrots like to talk, that means the parrots belong to you and me. Okay, so maybe this is your parrot and this is my parrot, but these are our parrots. Okay, so we can say our school is very big, right? So if you say our school is very big, that means that the school that you and your friends go to is very big. Okay? Or we can also say Teacher Jarrett really enjoys our time learning together. Right? So that means I really enjoy, I'm really happy, yay, our time learning together. So that means when you and I spend time learning together, it makes me happy. So that's why we say our time, because it's your time and my time. Okay? Okay. Now, next word, special. Okay. So, special. S-P-E-C-I-A-L. Penguins move in a special way. So do you see the penguins moving? They walk like this. They go pop, 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 pop. They just waddle and take little steps, right? Yeah. So that's special. Special describes something different or impressive. That's a big word, but special describes something different or impressive. So you can say impressive is a word to describe something that makes you just go, wow, that's so cool. Okay, so that's what impressive means. So a word we can put special, we need to put special into a sentence. So we can say every boy and girl is special. And we can say is different, special, right? So every boy and girl is different and special. That means you don't look like your friends. You don't act like your friends, right? You're all different, but you're all special, right? So special because, your parents love you. Special because we're all alive together. Special because you can play the piano. Special because you can speak English. There are many different ways that you can be special, but everyone is special, okay? So if you don't think you're special, just talk with your mother and father and they will tell you, okay? You are so special. Our last word is splendid. S-P-L-E-N-D-I-D. A peacock has a splendid tail. Okay. Splendid is a word that describes something very incredible and awesome. Okay? So, something that is very incredible and awesome. So we can see a peacock has a splendid tail. That means their tail is something that is just so incredible, right? So we can say, artwork is very artwork can be splendid, right? Sometimes you see some piece of art and you just think it's so incredible that someone was able to make that, right? Or we can also say some building designs are splendid. So if you see a building, like a tall building, and you just say, wow, and it's the only building that you can see that's so incredible, or it's a very special building, then you can say that is splendid too, okay? So artwork can be splendid. Some building designs are splendid. All right? Now, your turn. Read the sentence for each word. then make up another sentence. So we did that already. So now we'll erase this and go to the next page. Okay, so phonics fluency. Phonics fluency. Long A. The letters A, AI, and AY make the long A sound in apron, paint, and gray. So now I'll read these words and then you can read them. May, paid, clay, April, play, stained, mail, agent, days, trains, staying, basic. Okay, so now you can read these words. I'll read them one more time. May, paid, clay, April, play, stained, mail, agent, days, trains, staying, basic. Okay, so now let's go to the next page. Will David stay inside if it rains? David and Ray may play with trains. So we can see all of the underlined letters, A, AI, AY, make the A sound, right? Yeah. So now let's do your turn. Look for these words with a long A in a tail of a tail. Okay? So a tale is a story, and a tail, it says the same, sounds the same, but A-I-L, tail, is like this. It's something that sticks out of the back of an animal that can move, like a dog has a tail, a beaver has a tail, right? Humans don't have tails. So these words are tail, April, wailed, ray, swayed, explained, day, way. Okay? When we read this story, we'll see these words again. Now let's go to the next page. Okay. So this is our first, we're learning more words now, and these are the hard words. These are very big. So take our time, we'll take our time and we'll learn these words. So our first word is appearance. A-P-P-E-A-R-A-N-C-E, appearance. Appearance is how something looks. Okay, so we can say this principal has a professional appearance, right? So this principal of a school, see principal, she has a professional appearance because she has a coat on, she has a nice shirt, she has earrings, and she brushes her hair, right? So that means she looks professional. Now we can do another sentence and we can say, I have an idea. If you don't wash your clothes and take showers and clean yourself often, you will have a messy appearance. So if you don't wash your clothes and clean yourself often, you will have a messy appearance, right? So maybe your hair is just all messed up, and your clothes, maybe they're dirty, maybe there's a spot on your clothes. That means you have a messy appearance. So we should all try to be professional, right? We can look nice that way. If you don't wash your clothes and you don't clean yourself, like take a bath or shower, then you look very messy. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next word. Determined. Okay, determined is spelled D-E-T-E-R-M-I-N-E-D. Okay, so determined means that you really want to do something. Okay, so we can say here, this little girl is determined to finish the race, right? So we can say she's running, she wants to finish the race. Or maybe we can even say this little girl is determined to win the race because there's no one else around her. So maybe she's in first place and she's just running as fast as she can because she is so determined to win, right? Okay, so another word or another sentence we can write is our parents are determined to help us learn new words and to get smarter, right? So when you come home from school, your mother and your father or your parents probably say, do your homework. Or they sign you up for other classes like what we're doing right now, and they help you learn more, right? So that means they are determined to help us, you and me, learn new words and to get smarter. So that means we are going to keep learning, right? Yeah, and our parents are determined to make sure that happens. So our parents really want us to be smart and to learn new words. So that's why they want you to take class with me, right? Because we learn so much together and your English gets better and better and better and better, right? Yeah, okay. Now, let's go to the next page. We have more words. Okay. Our next word is feature. F-E-A-T-U-R-E. Feature. So, a feature is something that is special about animal, a thing, or a person. Okay? So, we can say a feature is something that is special about an animal or a thing or a person. So we can say this elephant's most important feature is its nose, right? So we said before the elephant has a long nose. So they use that nose to grab things, right? Because elephants don't have hands. They just have big feet. And so instead of having hands like you and me to grab things, they use their nose to grab something and then they can put it in their mouth like that, okay? They also can use it to breathe. So some elephants can actually walk underwater. So if the water is here, see if on you and me, we couldn't breathe, right? Because the water is over our nose and mouth. But the elephant can take their nose and do this, and they can go out of their nose. So their body can be underwater, and they can put their nose above water and still breathe. So we also learned about giraffes, right? So the giraffe's most important feature is their long neck, right? So that's a giraffe's most important feature. Okay, now let's go to the next page. Predicament is our next word. So predicament is spelled P-R-E-D-I-C-A-M-E-N-T. So a predicament is a difficult situation to be in. So a predicament means that you are in is a difficult situation, right? So we can see here that this man is in a predicament because his keys are in the car and the car is locked. So we can say this man a predicament because his keys are in the car and the car is locked. So he cannot get into the car, right? So let's think of another word for predicament. I have an idea. If you come home from school and your mother and father not home, the door is locked, you will be in a predicament. Okay? So, if you come home from school and your mother and father are not home and the door is locked, you will be in a predicament, right? Because you won't be able to get into the house. Just like this man cannot get into his car because the keys are inside, right? So a predicament is a difficult situation. You can also be in a predicament if you have to pick one thing, but you have two really good choices. So maybe if you want to go and if your parents say, do you want to get pizza or do you want to get McDonald's? Then you like both pizza and McDonald's, but you have to only pick one. So that could be a predicament too, because you have to choose one, and that's very hard to do. Okay? All right, now let's go to our next word. Relief. Okay, so relief. Relief is spelled R-E-L-I-E-F. So relief is when your feelings of distress or nervousness go away. So maybe you're very nervous. You're just thinking, oh, I don't know. And then if those go away, distress and nervousness go away, you feel relief. So here we can see this boy is feeling relief because he found his coat at the lost and found. So that means he lost his coat. He couldn't find it. So he was probably very nervous or distressed, right? But then he found his coat, so then he felt relief. The boy felt relief after he found his coat lost and found. Okay? So another way to use the word relief is I felt so much relief after my important test was over, right? So if you have a very important test, you might be nervous, like, oh, am I going to pass this test? I don't know. But once you take the test and it's over, then you can feel relief, right? Because you're not nervous anymore because the test is over. Okay? Okay. Now let's go to the next word. We have so many words today. So here's the word special. We talked about this a little bit before. Special is something that is unique or different, right? So it's something that is unique or different. So we said before that penguins walk in a special way, right? Because they just waddle like this. You can look it up online if you don't know how penguins walk to see how they walk. It's very special. So then we can also say all boys and girls are special, right? Or you can say my mother makes a special dish on my birthday, right? So boys and girls are special because we are all different and unique, right? You can also say my mother makes a special dish on my birthday because that means a special dish means that she doesn't usually make it. So it's something unique or different on your birthday. Okay? Okay. And now we're going to our last word for today, okay? Okay. So our last word here is splendid. Splendid. S-P-L-E-N-D-I-D. Splendid. So splendid is something that is wonderful or awesome or very good. Okay? So we can see that the peacock has a splendid tail, right? Because this tail is so big and it turns into a beautiful picture. So it's so splendid. So we can also say that something else which is wonderful or awesome. You can say, I had a splendid time at my friend's house, right? So if you had a really good time or something was wonderful at your friend's house, you can say you had a splendid time. Or you can say, my house, we can say, my city has many splendid buildings, right? So that means your city has many wonderful or very awesome buildings in it. So they look good or they're really tall, right? So that's splendid. So that is all we have for today. We learned a lot of words today. It was a long lesson, but I think you did very good. Okay? So now it's time for me to say bye-bye. And I will see you next time. Okay? We'll learn more about animals this week, so make sure to come back. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.